Now we are live in all our platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and now Instagram as well. So guys, if you have any questions throughout this live, please feel free to send it to us, and we will be more than happy to answer it live. We now have some questions that some of our audience have sent prior, and we're gonna start to answer them right now. How are you, Elisa?
Great. Thank you so much, Carla, for the warm invitation. Absolutely. We have over 20 questions here. So I'm just going to choose few, and some of them are really, really interesting. And as you know, guys, we started doing this a while ago. Questions. So we give maybe 2-3 minutes to each question to elaborate. So if you have anything specific you would like to touch on, please feel free to send us a message so we can elaborate on the answer. So Carla, she's in mortgages, and I am in real estate. So you have here two experts who can help you for sure. So I'm going to shoot you the first question, Carla.
All right, bring it
Yes.
on.
So you know, as you know, many people are wondering if they are ready or not, how to become ready even before they get their money together, right? So they would like to know, it says, what factors determine my affordability to qualify for a mortgage besides my income? What else do I need?
Okay, so one of the main factors that will determine the approval is going to be the down payment. If you give more than 20%, we are able to increase that affordability because we don't need an insurance, and that insurance is very specific with certain guidelines. So that's why we don't need that insurance, the insurance that has to um, has to be in the mortgage when you have a home and you are giving less than 20%. That's the insurance that I'm talking about. Okay, so number one is that how much down payment do you have? The number two is your history, your credit history. We want to make sure that there is nothing owing there or anything like that, because this can affect your score, and your score is very important. Sometimes some lenders, if your score is less than 650, let's say, for instance, they approve you for less. So it's very, very important for you to make sure that your credit is in good standing. The number three is your debts. So we want to make sure that your debts are, like, I'm going to have a parenthesis here, because if you have a lot of credit cards and lines of credits, but you're not using them, don't worry. It's like that didn't exist. The lenders make sure that if you are using them, we need to make sure that we take into account the minimum payment, okay, or more than minimum payment in some occasions. But if you are not using them, don't worry about it. Another thing is the car payments. So if you have a car payment, car lease, car loan, we have to take that into consideration. Now, there's a lot of self-employed out there that, they say, but my car is for company use. It's not even,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't even have to do anything with my income. So this is for those people who have a corporation, for example. So if you have a corporation, do the lease, do the loan under the corporation. So when we are doing a personal mortgage, we don't have to, take into consideration that payment, because that payment belongs to the corporation. Okay, so that's one of the things that you can do when you have a a car loan, if you have a corporation. So that's how it works, Elisa. We take into
Yes, excellent.
everything.
Of course, of course. It's a very thorough answer, but still, I know for some people who may be watching, they may be still like blank points. So why don't you put our Calendly up there so they can contact directly and get more specific, personalized answers on their financial situation, the type of debts, the type of income or kind of work they have, if they're self-employed or not. That would be great. So I'm going to jump to the next question. Let me find it here. Okay. At what point during my home search, should I try to get pre-approved for a loan? Okay, guys. Like ideally, once you have decided in your mind that you are going to buy, you should get pre-approved for a mortgage loan. Okay, why that early, even before your home search? Because this will give you at least three main advantages. First, you will know the most you can spend on that basis, so you will be able to decide how much you want to spend given all your other financial obligations are already met. Okay, and then once you know how much you want to spend, you will be able to begin searching properties for sale based on a specific price range. Okay, and this will help you obviously to stay focused because you know exactly what is your price bracket. Save time because you will not be walking into properties that are outside of your price range. And of course, make more informed decisions based on your
Exactly.
affordability. Because once you know
Yes.
how much you can afford and you are negotiating an offer, you will know for sure what is your top, and you will not offer more than you can afford, even though you absolutely love that home. That will mean we have to move to the next because you already looked at the home that is not within your
Yeah.
price range. What is that going to help us as well? Once you're going to select your properties, I will be able to make a pre-evaluate very quickly those homes to make sure to tell you, you know what, it's so worth to go to see this home because it's not going to sell outside your price range. Or you know
Of
what,
course.
it might be on the borderline. Let's go see it. We may try to negotiate what's going on, or maybe completely off the bat. Because you know, Carla, I have my clients send me all these MLS numbers, which is an identifier to a particular property. They sent me this and they want to see them all, but they don't have the details which I have in my system, right?
Yes.
They
And it's so
cannot see,
important.
and they
Yeah.
publicly cannot see the home has an offer day, which normally has a base price, so they don't know. So let's say if you are pre-approved for, I don't know, for $980,000, and you see a home that looks like a bargain for 950, you send me the property, I make the evaluation, and then I tell you, you know what, the homes in that area are selling for 1.1 million. Then we know it's outside of your range, and then we focus again on what you can afford. But again, these are the details we can talk about once you get your pre-approval done, and contact us so we can talk
Yes.
specifically on this. So let me.
No, and it's so important in this section to make sure that you actually do a pre-approval, even if you are not ready, because it really helps you out to determine what decisions you are gonna take.
Yeah.
Like for example, some clients tell me, you know what, Carla, we really need a car. And when you really need a car, like you have to buy a car, right? But then it becomes like, you know, what type of car am I gonna buy? Is it gonna be a $200 one a month, or is it gonna be a $2,000 one a month? What like and it helps you to really, you know, make these decisions wisely in order for you to be able to purchase your home
Yeah.
in Canada.
So that is for you, this question next. Okay. What kind of mortgage should I get based on the current interest rate? So if you could let us know exactly how they're running this with the interest rate, and let us know which would be the
Okay.
best, fixed
Yeah.
or
So
variable
it's
interest rate.
variable.
All these
What's
numbers
going
floating,
on?
all these
Yes.
numbers floating around, right? So yeah, let
Yes.
us know.
So while there is not a straightforward answer to this, as you know, or you have heard, or maybe you don't know, so I can address that right now. There are a few types of lenders out there, and not everybody goes to the same type of mortgage. But to answer this question, right now the rates vary from 4.69 all the way to 6%. And these rates are from, like the cheapest rates that the banks or lenders offer for people who need an insurance, all the way to lenders that are lender B type, the type of lender that will take more risk, but it will perhaps charge you a premium on the rate. So just to put that in perspective, we can at this precise moment find something from 4.69 all the way to 6.5%, depending on your credit and the type of mortgage that you are looking for.
Excellent. So, guys, and yes, contact Carla, because she's really very diligent when it comes to trying to find the best rate for you. Like, really, I have seen it over and over with her. So she will not cease or go to sleep at all until she finds
Yeah.
what is the best product for you, so you can really confidently enter with that interest rate. So, next question. Oh, okay. This is similar to the other one. How can a mortgage pre-approval help me with the buying process? So I think where these people are coming from, because what I do normally is I request the pre-approval, especially from my first-time home buyers. Is the first time they're getting into this kind of process, to help them out. I know a lot of the information contained in your process with your mortgage agent or your lending institution may be considered really private, but there are some points I really need to know that will help me to negotiate for you. In fact, you will help yourself to do this. And how is so? Because it can definitely, if you have a pre-approval, what can be done? You can just get a very simple pre-approval letter, right? With, let's say from Carla, a very simple pre-approval letter where it says that actually you have been pre-approved for this kind of property, or what, for that specific property, which is different from the approval. However, it can definitely leverage your purchasing power if you find a home which you absolutely love, and maybe what that involves, maybe multiple offers. You will be able to make an offer immediately instead of gathering all the documents at the last minute, and to assure that seller that you are ready to buy. So, because when I am representing a seller, it is also my job to help my seller to find out if the buyer can actually has the means to purchase the property. And a pre-approval letter is actually a great help, because it's coming from not from you going to the internet and decided to use in an app. It goes through a process where Carla just mentioned. It goes through a reviewing a lot of documents, making sure you can actually get there. Because the worst thing that can happen to a seller is that the time comes for you to take possession, and oops, you are not able to close. However, you are legally bound to close if you have the funds or not, right? And well,
Exactly.
and it is because that in some buying situations, this can make the difference between getting or not getting the home you want.
You want
And there are
exactly.
many other little details along with this, but I'm gonna leave it as that, because this is a really important point, right? First, you have to make sure all the steps are aligned. And as you see, it looks like these questions are going into that sequence as well. Okay, Carla. I think I asked you this already. Like, what are the current mortgage interest rates? Oh yeah, but this question was more linked into the confusion of will I pay the interest with the stress test on it? What is this number? I will
what is
pay
the
5,
stress
6,
test?
7, or 8. What exactly I am paying, and what is
Yes.
different from the stress test? What
So
does that mean?
we have to do a stress test. The stress test means that you are qualified for a mortgage. Instead of 4.69, let's put this example. Um, I have to qualify you at 6.69%. And
Okay.
why did the government decided to do this? So the government thought ahead, and they said, okay, right now we have historically lower rates, and what happens if the rates start to go up? So they wanted the all the people to be protected for this, and that's why they increase the stress test to 2%. So it is whatever is your contract rate plus 2%. So back in the day, we were actually, doing these approvals for 5% or more. And right now, rates are around the 5% or more. So that's why the government wants to make sure that everybody is able to pay their mortgage. And it actually kind of helped right now. I mean, there are situations where the clients have to sell their home, um, but typically in Canada, the mentality is, first I pay my mortgage, then I am able to pay any other thing. So Canadians are very responsible in this way, that they protect their biggest asset before they pay anything else. So yes, the stress test, first when it came into place, like people were like going crazy, like why, like like affordability is so important, and these 2% really, it helped two things. It helped stop the growth of the market, and then two, rapidly it was going up very, very fast. And then two, it also helped clients now to not lose their homes now that the interest rates are much higher than before.
Fantastic. Yes, absolutely. So you see, you guys, you're not paying that 2% extra, right? It is just for you. It's a safety net for you. So you know exactly that probably in 5 years, I don't think they will go that high again. But again, that if something happens when it's time for you to renew, you are not left hanging, right? That you can actually keep your home.
Yeah.
It's your biggest asset, of course.
Yes, we have talked about this before, but it's always good to remind people that, of course, there is a lot of talk about rates that they are gonna go down, but nothing is set in a stone. So literally, we are like this. We're like, please, rates start to go down already. However, yes, definitely, anything can happen.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next question. Okay, how much should I save for a down payment? Okay, I would like to try to answer this because I hear a lot of confusion, especially for first-time home buyers, where they hear the 5%, the 5% down payment. Okay, you really need in Ontario a 5% down payment if your home is $500,000 or less, and it will be a minimum of 10% up to $1 million, and anything above $1 million, your minimum required down payment will be 20%. Now, all this situation is personalized because probably even though your home is less than $500,000, maybe you're required to put 7, 8, or 10% as a down payment, depending on your financial profile, as Carla explained before. However, I'm going back to this 5%. When we are presenting an offer, sometimes with the offer, depending on what kind of offer it is, sometimes with the offer or 24 hours within the offer, after the offer is signed, you will need to deposit a deposit with an offer. And traditionally, in the GTA, that is 5%. That 5% you give, it already has to be liquid. It cannot be held in any long-term investment because you will not be able to extract that money and place it with your offer. All right. However, that 5% deposit is part of your down payment as well. So let's say if your minimum down payment has to be of 8 or 9, and let's say 9%, and you put with the offer this 5%, by the time you're going to take possession of your home with the lawyer, you're going to deliver the other 4%. So you have that entire amount already there. Okay. That's how it is. And where it is held, that deposit that you place with the offer is held in a trust account at the agency who represents the seller. All right. So it's not a money that is just hanging there in somebody on somebody's desk or with the seller himself. This is how it works. So this is very specifically explained for our first-time home buyers, and the 5% demystified. Now, okay, let me scroll it. I have these questions like on a document I have here on my notes. So I'm just I let my finger go down and I see where it stops. All right, so I'm gonna do the same again, and I'm gonna try to find a question for Carla. This is interesting. Okay, if I can afford it, should I put more or less down payment? Let's say you told me you can, right? Because if you have plenty of money for the down payment, should I put less, more, or exactly my maximum? Let us know, Carla. You say, well, yes.
This depends on your strategy and what is your long-term plan. That's it's not a very straightforward answer, I know, but it all depends on your financial plan and your profile in general. So I'm gonna tell you that a week ago I had a meeting with a client who has 20%, but he's actually not putting the 20% because he has a long-term plan that he wants to build his real estate portfolio. So what he's going to do, he's going to take only what he's required to put down on this specific home, and then save the rest for an additional home down the road. And long story short for you guys, reach out to me because we want to make sure that we follow your plan. If your plan is, to pay off your mortgage as fast as possible and you don't want to deal with, tenants and stuff like that, that's also okay. We just need to make sure that whenever we are doing a plan, we're doing it tailored to your specific need. So book your appointment, please.
Yes, exactly. Book your appointment with Carla for that. And thank you again. Thank you very much for following us, for being here with us. And please do send your questions. We will do our best to try to answer it as soon as they arrive in our inboxes. And subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this information from that channel to anyone you think this information may be useful. And of course, so you also receive notifications. For the next live, we're going to be running with much more questions and answers. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you so much, Elisa. Have an amazing day. Thank you. ¿Cómo se llama? Elisa. No. Es que no sé. El commitment.